Welcome to Wickerson Studios. My name's Michael Wickerson, and I am um, kind of wavering in between YouTube tutorials recorded, which is where I'm going to put the recorded videos, and going live every day for up to 2 hours. And if I get feedback from people, then I'll keep doing that. All you got to do is jump into the chat, tell me what you want. You focused on Rhino, Grasshopper, Python, hops, Python remote, C sharp, Visual Studio Code, whatever you want, or just the GitHub files that I've spent, compiling repositories for a couple of years. But I do like these nice little animations. I'm excited about those in the interface in Rhino and how they can be pushed into other programs as well. But I'm going to show you my basic setup that I'm comfortable with. I have a Rhino window that I usually throw over to shaded, and I definitely use the top view for most of my exercises until I get things sorted out and want to move things into 3 dimensions. But because this is an old style script that I've loved forever, and I'll show you the parts of it, it's pretty simple. I like to put my parameters. If we look at the canvas, if we take a look at a script, I like to break it into parts and have it ordered and noted. I like to have my visualization tools, my param viewer, and panels working. And I like to have my parameters set over here and labeled. So my parameter sliders, this happens to be the height, this happens to be the divided count, this happens to be the subdivision thickness. So 3 sliders will be able mean that you can put things in the foldogram free of charge and work with your cell phone or a HoloLens. There's an oscillation script that I pull and use almost on every single thing I build to make iterations or parametric sculpture into animations. I've been doing this recently, and it's gotten most of the popularity on YouTube and my most views. So I was doing that in the summer with a bunch of Mathematica things and having a lot of fun with that. I like the double helix. I love it because math comes into that oscillation. But definitely, if you take a look at these scripts and how I kind of run them, and they're all available on GitHub, so you can just download them, load them up. There's no real dependencies on this one. There's no plugins available, but there's a point generation that I like to make, and you can see that's producing that helix, and it runs in the sine and cosine. I like to keep my objects very small. I like to keep my ranges defaulting from 0 to 1. That way I don't have to do any amplification or multiplication or changing things within cosine and sine. I do like to keep a param viewer and a panel tool ready to go at any time. My curve generation is pretty fun, and you can see that I can change my curve generation not only here, but rotate that around and have some control over that form while the animation still works and runs. Really beautiful form to actually do some bakes on and get some logic and get some programming involved in there. And you can always throw that oscillation of 0 to 2.0. You could have fun by just grabbing your, let's say this number slider right here, and pull that out, and it should work as a panel number slider. Let's pop it into here as the panel, and you can see you get something a little funkier and subtler dancing for you on the screen. And this is for people that really are computationally minded and see how numbers and things drive geometries. But I'm going to keep this pretty simple at 1. It's tucked in there, and leave this one out here for playing with. I think I played with a little node over here as well that I allowed myself to use the absolute value, because if I don't use the absolute value, then I'll start dipping on below 0. So usually I'll leave those. I'll block off the main parts and label the scripts in the sections. And I learned this through robotic tutorials where Omar Neti off at the University of Cairo really was able to pull massive scripts and problem solve throughout the whole thing, thinking of lines driving patterns for robots. And I do have a real interest in robots. I just don't have a robot. And then there's a curve generation, which you took a look at, and I do a little bit of merging of lists and single items. And then the curves, I love to just work my geometry to curves and run the fastest algorithm, because I was always interested in surfaces doing pipes closed with different enumerated forms. This one's set to round, even though it doesn't match. The enumeration of caps on subdivision is different from the enumeration on pipes, or variable pipes for that matter, with a gene pool. That's what I was doing early a couple of years ago before subdivision came out. Anyway, it's a very simple script. You can play around with it. It's nothing too fancy for those that like making spiral staircases. This definitely is inspiration, and you can get in here and play with all the number sliders that you want. The finesse, the speed, the oscillation. You realize how number can drive speed of things, and you can always reset things and start again. Very nice script. One of my favorite scripts. I write from scratch all the time to entice students to want to get into Grasshopper when they start modeling in Rhino, because of the power of what can happen and how speedy these things actually are. And beautiful surfaces to bake if you wanted to at any time. So let's just jump in here and say, you're my baker. And we'll put that over the pattern 4, and there you go. We just baked another object in there. And I love to get Python up and running. And if you don't want to run it on another server like GitHub server, you can always pull in your maths, and you don't have to run. You can just jump in here and start programming in Python if you're used to it. Or Python remote if you want, or even C Python or C Sharp. Okay, so that's about it. I didn't group everything, so I left my I left my other forms hovering away from my geometries. So that's kind of fun that I pulled them out separate to produce at a different time. I didn't do the I thought for sure I might get the bake that they may subdivision with the other ones, but I would have to flatten the curves to do that, I believe, to get everything working together as a single subdivision, one closed subdivision. Anyway, I'm pretty confident with Grasshopper, at least in a playful way that I like. I don't have a lot of direction in what I'm doing. Obviously, I want to get into more innovative and data-driven things. If you follow me on the Hops program, where I can actually start beyond number sliders and ranges and these oscillation tools, I can actually drive it from file, text-based, CSV, Excel, what have you, SQL files as well. And then with the obviously interest in hops, I think there's nothing I can't do while learning Python to bring it speedily into the scripts. So I think that's it. It is Grasshopper 003 on the GitHub. If you want to have a look, I will save that again, and I will post the updated version. Mainly in the blocks, you can kind of grab the script and push it around to see however you like to see it. You can make the hidden lines if you want to get this packaged away. You can cluster these objects if you want, and you certainly can use them to hop up your own functions that are available to anybody who wants to get at them, which is kind of nice. I have this one hanging around, so I better just leave it down there. And like I said, I'm not going to connect these nodes into those groups until they become essential to those groups. Anyhow, Michael Wickerson at Wickerson Studios. I'm going to put this one up on video on Twitch, and I'm also going to load it up on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and be sure to vote on my Patreon whether you want me to go Twitch or YouTube, and thanks for the votes already. Bye-bye.